Hi, this is Mike Patrick, and I'm here to show you how to play ESPN College Hoops 2K5. Basketball is an action-packed sport, full of quick moves and split-second decisions. The only way you're going to keep up with the action is to know every move available to you on your Xbox controller. In this video, I'm going to talk about offensive controls, so let's get started. In basketball, there are always 10 players on the court. 5 on each team. Each Xbox controller can control only one player. This ring indicates which player you are controlling with a different color for each controller. Any player that doesn't have a ring is controlled by the CPU. By default, you're always controlling the ball handler. Use the left thumbstick to move your player. Dribbling is automatic, so you don't have to worry about traveling violations as you move around the court. But be careful not to step out of bounds or to get a backcourt violation. Pulling and holding the right trigger turns on your turbo, which makes your player move faster. When you turn on turbo, a bar will appear under your player, showing how much turbo you have left. When the bar runs out, you'll go back to running at normal speed. Release the right trigger to begin restoring your turbo. The A button passes the ball. Use the left thumbstick to point to the player you want to receive the pass. As soon as the receiving player takes possession, you will control the receiver. The Y button gives a leading pass. A lead pass has your player pass the ball to a position between the receiving player and the basket so that he can take possession as he drives. As soon as the receiver takes possession, you take control of him, so be ready to keep driving after the pass. The X button shoots the ball. When you shoot, your player will jump, and if you release the button at the peak of the jump, you'll have the best chance of making the basket. If you tap the X button, you give a pump fake, which can distract a defender. If a defender jumps when you jump, getting in your way, you can press the X button a second time to change the shot. This will hurt your chances of making the basket, but can sometimes be the only way to get around a defender in your face. The B button turns on iso motion, which has your player perform any of several ankle-breaking moves. A single press will make your player perform a crossover. But by holding the B button down and using the left thumbstick, you can navigate your player through some very exciting isomotion moves. All of the face buttons on your Xbox game controller will perform different functions when you pull and hold the left trigger. The left trigger and the A button combined activates the give and go. Your player will pass the ball to the receiver in the direction you push the left thumbstick, just like a normal pass. Press the A button again to have the ball passed back to the player that originally made the pass. The left trigger combined with the Y button performs an alley-oop. Your controlled player will throw the ball up toward the basket while the nearest CPU-controlled player will drive and jump to dunk the alley-oop. This only works when a CPU-controlled player has a clear shot at the basket. The left trigger and the B button performs a hop step. The hop step has your player jump toward the basket and plant his feet, ending his drive. He won't be able to move after performing the hop step, but you can use this to get your player into a high percentage part of the court for an easy shot. If you use turbo while pulling the left trigger and pressing the B button, you'll perform a pro hop spin, which can get you even closer to the basket before ending your drive. This is a tricky move, though, and should be performed only by your best ball handlers. There are more controls available on the other buttons of your Xbox game controller. The black button turns on icon passing, which gives you a different way to pass the ball. Instead of using the left thumbstick, press the black button, and a button will appear over the other 4 players. Press the button of the player you want to pass to. The white button brings up the play call menu, which gives you 4 possible plays for your offense to run. Press the button for the play you want to call. The default plays are basic, but you can assign more advanced plays by hitting the start button to pause the game, then going into coaching, then playbooks. Select the offensive playbook type and assign your favorite plays to the 4 buttons. You can also bring up the play call menu by pressing in any direction on the directional pad. One press will bring up the menu, but after the menu appears, pressing again will affect tempo and pressure, determining how your team will play. Press left and right to choose the tempo or pressure, then push up or down to increase or decrease the level. Higher tempo has your players push harder into the paint, while lower tempo will keep them near the arc. Higher pressure will have your players be more aggressive, while lower pressure will have them play with fewer risks. Speaking of risks, you can attempt some very exciting isomotion moves by using the right thumbstick. Push the right thumbstick forward, left, or right to attempt a crossover drive to the basket in the direction you push the stick. Push back on the thumbstick to cancel the move in mid-step. If you turn on turbo, you'll perform a spinning crossover drive, which can get you around tougher defenders but requires stronger ball handling skills. Every time you use isomotion, you lose some of your turbo, so be careful not to use the right thumbstick when your turbo is drained. If you click the left thumbstick, your player will turn his back to the basket. Use this in the low post with your big players to get into scoring position. When backing down, you can tap the X button to perform a head fake, then press it to finish the up and under move. Push the left thumbstick in the direction you want to attempt the shot. Clicking the right thumbstick will have your player call for a pick. Use this to block a defender from following you and go for the open shot. Finally, the back button will call a timeout, giving your players a rest. I'm going to call a timeout right here, but I'll see you on the defense video.